What's going on, guys? It is Wednesday night, and here we are. And yes, I am not in my model room. I did something kind of dumb today. I've been I've been working in the yard, doing yard work, and where we live, my family and I, we've got a pretty large acreage here in the mountains, North Georgia mountains, and we've had a lot of trees fall over the last couple of years. Storms coming through, and just over time the yard starts looking not as nice as you would like it to look. So we've got a tractor. I've rented an excavator. I've been pulling trees out of my pond, just doing all sorts of yard work. And today I was trying to fix something right behind my house, right up close to my house. There's an area where we've got like 20 or 30 something natural springs on this property. It's a really nice property, and we really enjoy it. And it's not just me and my wife and kids. It's my entire family. My parents live through the mountains over here. My sister lives back up this way. So it's a lot of fun. The grandkids get to see the family and that sort of thing. But this spring right behind my house, it creates all this water, and it's not a problem. But I was just trying to divert the water in a different direction, and I kind of forgot that I had my Ethernet cable ran under the ground back there to go back to my shed where my model room is. And yeah, I ripped right through the Ethernet cable, so I no longer have internet in my model shed. So I have come into my now you know what my other hobby is. When I'm not building models, I am collecting and playing arcade games, and this is our family's arcade in my house, and that's where I'm going to probably be doing this show from for the foreseeable future, because I'm probably not going to be running another 100-foot or 150-foot Ethernet cable anytime soon. So that's why I'm here. But when I'm not building models, like I said, we can play some basketball, and you're seeing why I'm not an NBA player. Let's see. Nope, no luck tonight. So anyway, we have a lot of fun up here. The kids enjoy it. I enjoy it. I was born in 1985, so as soon as I was just a few years old, I can remember being in the arcades as a kid, back when that was still an actual thing. Which I guess today it's kind of sort of making a comeback. You're seeing all of these pinball arcades and nostalgic arcades, a lot of them paired with breweries. We've got one here in Blue Ridge. There is a pinball bar, I guess you would say. They brew their own beers, and you can go in there and have a beer and play pinball. So you're seeing all these kind of places pop up. I guess it's because the nostalgia thing. But hey, that's what we're doing in model kit world, right? You've got all these companies like Atlantis Models repopping all these old model kits, and nostalgia sells. And I guess you can say it bit me pretty hard in the arcade realm. So, but that's why I am up here tonight, and this is probably where I will be for the foreseeable future. So anyway, I hope everybody's doing good tonight. I see that Randy is here with us. Good to see you tonight, Randy. And good to see you, Ed. I hope everything is going your way. And Michael, good to see you. Glad that you remembered this week. And Wes Miller is here. He is the guy that we're going to show his models tonight. You know, last week with the Builders Showcase Show and Tell, I mentioned that we're not going to do it every week. I want to turn it into a once a month thing, but we got to get that started. So tonight I've put Wes's pictures off for 2 weeks. So I'm going to show all of Wes's pictures here in just a few minutes, and then I have received several new pictures from some of you. And I did get those, so thank you for that. What we're going to do is we are going to start the once a month Builder Showcase Show and Tell on, let's see, I had it pulled up here, April 3rd. That is 3 weeks from tonight, which is the first Wednesday night in April. So all of the pictures that you've sent me this week and all of the pictures that I gather between now and then, that's what we will do, and pretty much the whole show once a month will be show and tell, hopefully, if I get enough picture submissions. So y'all get some models built, or pull out some old models out of your display cases, get some pictures and send them to me, and it's going to be a lot of fun. But we'll show Wes's collection here shortly. TJ, good to see you tonight. And Joseph, good to see you. And Nick is here. And the Lawn Care Novice is here from Arkansas. Good to see you. And good to see you, Tom. Rex is here. And Jason is with us again. And yes, you are right. Just a couple of days until showtime. You know, I was talking to Dave Lockhart just right before this show. He emailed me and had a question about our vendor tables at the show. So good to hear from him, and looking forward to that. If I wanted to show this real quick, if you don't know anything, and we talk about IPMS shows a lot, and most of you probably know about this, but if you don't know how to find out about your local or semi-local model shows, you hear us talking about model shows on this show, and I'm sure on other things that you may watch, you hear about these IPMS events or AMPS events or whatever, but specifically IPMS, because that's the show this weekend in Atlanta. Let me show you their website. This is www.ipmsusa.org. You can go to this website, and if you're not a member of IPMS, consider joining. It's it's a good organization, and lots of modelers in there. They send out a cool what they call the IPMS Journal. I just got my new issue this week, which unfortunately our Squadron ad got omitted out of that somehow. It was supposed to be in there, but it's no worries. We will make sure we're in there next month. I'm not too worried about it, but that will be anyway. So go to news and events, go to events, and they've got a few different options there, but all events, and you can basically see every single model show that's happening in the country. So you can do the event map link, and this will show you a map. So, for example, I live near Atlanta. There's the Atlanta show, AtlantaCon 24 Region 3 Convention. This is where I will be this Saturday. Jason will be there as well, and I hope many of the rest of you will be there. But if you're not near Atlanta, you can come here, and there are plenty of other shows around the country. So there you go. Now you know, IPMSUSA.org. All right, so back over here. Charles is here. Nice to see you tonight. Let's see. And Joseph, you got your first Planet Models kit last week, and you're impressed. Well, that's cool. Planet Models, they're nice. They're resin kits, and now that you've got one, you see what I mean by that. And the company that makes those is, if you know Special Hobby, CMK, the resin accessories and figures and all that sort of thing. It's the same company. So Special Hobby, CMK, Special Armor, Special Navy, Planet Models. And if you look at the Planet Models line of products, you can see that most of those airplanes in that line are really kind of, I guess we'll call it obscure, at least obscure enough that they're not going to be molded up in injection plastic, at least not anytime soon. So there are some really cool and interesting subjects available in that line. So glad you got one, and glad you like it. Let's see. Hello, another Wednesday Night Live. Yes, we are here. And Greg, yes, this is the place to be. So, so I'm glad you're here. Good to see you. All right. Jeremiah was a bullfrog. Hey, how are you? Your wife is a fan of the show. Well, there you go. You know, I'm glad she started her first kit. I've been trying to get my wife to build a kit. I haven't got there yet, so you'll have to send me some tips on how you convinced your wife to get started. All right, let's see. Everybody else. Guys, I won't go through everybody saying hello, but I'm really glad you're here. Glad to see everybody in the chat, and just very cool. So let's see. Yeah, Jim, this is actually not just a backdrop. This is I'm actually here. This is my arcade, my other hobby. I have three main hobbies really. I've got my model kits, my arcade games, and my off-road riding and racing, four-wheelers and dirt bikes and things that my son and I are involved in. But this is cool to me. So let's see. Got your B-24. Awesome. Well, I'm glad you got it. I got mine out tonight because last week I told you we were talking about the God Hand snippers last week, and I told you that we were working on a version of that style of snippers for ourselves, for our Squadron tools, and I got them. I got the samples. We'll look at those in a minute. So I brought my B-24, one of the sprues out of the B-24 kit, so I can cut these out and show you how nice these kind of snippers cut plastic. So we'll look at that. But glad you got your kit, and looks like you got your Devastator too, so that's cool. That's awesome. Let's see. Okay, Jason, that's cool. Yeah, got a lot of guys coming. So good. Looking forward to seeing your kits, your Gundams as well. So that's awesome. And yeah, Jim, I've got Pac-Man. That's it right there. Now, most of these, just in case you were wondering, I've only got one original arcade. It's a Golden Tee Golf sitting right here beside me. But the rest of these are actually reproductions. There's a company called Arcade One Up that makes these. They're new. They're not old, which is kind of cool because they actually work, and the maintenance on them is very, very minimal. But they make them in 3/4 scale size, so they're not giants, so I can fit a lot more of them in here. And but they do, like that Pac-Man that's sitting right behind me, there's actually several versions of Pac-Man built into that cabinet, so I can play several versions. I got Miss Pac-Man right around the corner, so it's pretty neat. It's interesting. One of these days I'm gonna do I've got a lot of buddies that are in this hobby with me that do other YouTube channels and things, and I've made a video to show those. I'll probably, now that you've all seen my other hobby, I'll probably post my my video of walking through this room sometime on this channel, so you guys can check it out. It's, you know, like I said, it's cool and it's interesting to me. So any updates on the Sydney kit? I do not know right here off the top of my head. I will have to look into that and see. I know that we are finally getting their new Bunker Hill kit in just a couple of days. It seems like every week I'm just blowing excuses of our container problems, and here I go again. But it's not me making up these excuses. I'm just forwarding on the excuses that I've been given. But our container that's got the Bunker Hills from Flyhawk, it's got those Tacom big box Tiger kits. Finally, the container finally made it through the Panama Canal earlier this week. It finally docked in Savannah, and they finally unloaded it, and they're getting them on a truck to get delivered to our warehouse. We might get it Friday, but even if we do, it's going to be late in the day. So it's probably going to be one of those over the weekend, get everything packed up and get everything in the mail Monday and Tuesday for pre-orders. But there's a lot of good stuff in there. But now that we've got the Bunker Hill, I'll have to check with them on the Sydney. Hopefully it's not too far away. Let's see. Yeah, and Jason, the cool thing about the arcade room is, so outside of, I mean, you know, I build ships, and I'm getting more and more into aircraft and tanks and everything else. One of the main kind of models that I like building are figure models, and I do all sorts of figure models, all sorts of scales and sizes and subject matter and stuff. But one of the subject matters, I guess we'll say, that I like a whole lot is comic book figures. So up here, I mean, you see the X-Men arcade game right behind me. Up here, that style of figure fits this room. So every time I build a figure kit and get done, it comes up here. And I got a picture of around the corner here, I'll show you in a minute, that's got several of my Marvel figures. So it's a really cool place, and this carpet is blacklight activated. So I never really was a big fan of, not that I didn't like them, I just never got interested in all of the old glow model kits, the plastic kits that are glow-in-the-dark plastic. X Plus has got several of them. Of course, the old Aurora kits, Revell's got some. Monster kits and figures were pretty popular for having glow versions. Well, all of a sudden, it occurred to me that those glow models will glow in this room under my blacklight. So now all of a sudden I've been adding glow model kits to my stash, which is cool because you don't even have to paint them. You just glue them together, stick them under the blacklight, and boom, they glow and they look cool. So it's going to be a really cool fit for this room. Atlantis has been reissuing a lot of those from some of the old Aurora kits and Revell and all that. So it's pretty neat. So it's I don't know, a multi-purpose room, I guess we can say. Yeah, Michael, that copy is really cool out in the Midway, but the cool thing is, and I forget all the names and who's doing it and what the schedule and all that is, but they're actually trying to pull one up and restore it. I don't have a clue where it's going to be displayed. I should know because Dana Bell included a couple of those images of them down under the water in the last couple of pages of our Devastator in Action book. But that's going to be really cool if they can actually pull those up, get them restored. I can imagine it's probably going to take a good little while, but it would be very cool to see that if it actually ends up happening. Let's see. Oh, yeah, Jason, the one-up cabinets, you're right, because they are 3/4 scale. So I guess everything I do has some sort of scale that's not full size. Oh, man. Oh, hey, Scott, the David Doyle Vietnam Gun Trucks book. Yeah, it's pretty neat. It's pretty neat, and those AFV Club kits, they are nice. I know if you hadn't got one of the Eve of Destruction kits, I'm pretty sure we just got some more of those in stock last week. So, Scott, I don't have any real pinball machines. I've got a digital pinball machine over here, and you'll see it later when I post a walkthrough video of this room. But it's pretty neat. I kind of built it myself. It runs off of a computer, and it's got all the buttons and the shakers and the vibrators and everything else in there. So it's not as cool as a real one. There's a pinball museum about 5 miles down the road from my house that I don't get to go to quite as often as I'd like to, but they've got about, I don't know, 20 or 30 machines in there. It's really neat. So nothing beats a real pinball machine, but my digital pinball machine is a close second. Hey, Danny, good to see you tonight. All right, let's see. Tom, as far as spare parts specifically for Hobby Boss and Trumpeter, they are the same company, just in case you didn't know that. Or at least they come from the same factory, I should say. They have their own way of doing spare part replacements these days, and that changed a few years ago. I don't know. I've not had to use that service myself, so I can't say for sure how quick it works, and I'm trying to pull it up on their website right now. Sometimes their website doesn't work. The Trumpeter website seems to be down at the moment, so that's nice. But the Hobby Boss, if you go, so it's Trumpeter what is the website? Trumpeter-china.com is the Trumpeter site. The Hobby Boss site is hobbyboss.com, and I'll show you this real quick. This is what they have requested for us to tell our customers what to do, for better or for worse. Let's see. Okay, here it is. Hobbyboss.com. And the Trumpeter website looks identical to this, except it's got Trumpeter branding on it. Right here where it says spare part service, click that. There's an email in there, and you can do what they've asked. Like I said, I don't know how well that works, but give it a shot and see what you can come up with. If you have any trouble, give me an email, and I'll do what I can. But the spare parts have to come directly from them, unfortunately. Barcade, that is the word I was trying to find earlier when I was talking about all these new places that are popping up. So that's cool. I have not been to that one. You know, I bet you that one in Nashville, I think my wife showed me pictures of that a couple of weeks ago. Unless there's more than one in Nashville, but that's cool. All right, well, let's jump over here before we get too much further into Wes Miller's show and tell. Let's check this out. So first, this and I don't want to belittle anybody else's showcase pictures that they've sent me, because everybody's pictures are great, right? Everybody's models are great. I really appreciate it. But and I'm gonna learn from Wes. This right here is really cool. So not only did he send me, and some of you guys might have something similar to this. Some of you might have things that blow this one out of the water. But he sent this to me, so I'm assuming it's okay to show this. So not only does he have pictures of all of his models, but check this out. He's got a full Excel spreadsheet of his entire collection, or I guess this is his entire collection. So talk about knowing what you have when you go to the model show and you see a kit that you're interested in, but you can't remember if you have it. He's got it all here. He's got everything listed by name, by scale, by brand. I mean, this is just super cool. So when I saw this, I thought, man, I need to do something like this for my collection. And this, I assume that this column F here, it says percent complete. So 100% complete, that means he's finished the kit. And some of these other kits you can go through and see, oh wow, I've got this one started, I don't have this one started, or whatever. So this is really cool. So Wes, I give you props on being as well organized as you are, because I am definitely not that organized with my collection, at least not yet. But after seeing what you've done here, I might have to make some changes. So awesome. Now, the other week, I guess 2 weeks ago, I showed a couple pictures out of Wes's collection that were his display cases. I'll show those again, just in case anybody did not see those. And again, the only reason I'm doing this tonight, by the way, in case you didn't know, Wes sent me pictures, but he had so many, I thought, why not just show all of his pictures together? But these are his display cases that just, I think they look great. Very cool things. And I showed I did not show this one the other week. So this is kind of neat, all these small scale sailing ships. Just some really interesting stuff here. And one of the other things that I really like, and this is another one of those things I'm going to have to do for myself, is labeling and having a label for all of your builds. It's just super cool, because if somebody sees this stuff and doesn't know what it is, you can look at it and say, okay, yeah, this is a Hawker Hurricane. So very cool. All right, so his collection of pictures and images that he has sent me is broken up into a few different groups. So we'll start with his uh-oh, I'm knocking models over. We'll get to those in a minute. I got some kind of cool kits here to show you. So this is his collection of AFVs. And he says these are all 35th scale, unless otherwise noted. And I figured out a way to make sure I can read the captions this week. So I will read them unless I come across something foreign that I can't pronounce, and then I might try to pronounce it anyway. So this is his M3 Stuart, Honey, the British tank. This, of course, is an Abrams. And again, these are all 35th scale. And I don't, oh, okay, it does say, it says that is a Tamiya kit. Okay, cool. There it is again. Got the guys up top, that's cool. Alright, now we've got his M2 Bradley. A little bit of interior work there, or a lot of little. Alright, moving on to his M3 half track. Got a jumbo there, Sherman. M20. Tiger 2. So, and I'm not seeing the chat comments right this second the way that I'm displaying all this. But Wes, I know you're in the chat. How often do you complete a model? Because you've got way more models finished than I think I ever have had finished. Actually, I know that you have. So I'm just curious how frequently do you add a new model to your display cases? Jack Panther there. Oh, that's that Italeri Puma kit. Pretty neat looking. Another half track. There's that Sturm Tiger with the showing the figure next to the shell. That's cool. A couple more tanks here. This is a Tamiya M3 kit. This looks like a this is a Dragon kit. So lots of Tamiya. Can't go wrong with Tamiya though, for sure. So check this chat. Wes says, I'm just old and been lucky to have few breakages during moves. Alright then, well there you go. I guess when I get your age, I'll have this mini built, right? And I got to keep that in mind. Don't let any of my models get broken when I move. Oh man. Hey Gabriel, nice to see you tonight. And I don't know how many chats I have missed while I was scrolling through his pictures there. So forgive me if I don't comment on your chat there. And hey Jonathan, good to see you. Looks like Jonathan has also got a spreadsheet going on. There you go. Awesome. I'm assuming and hoping I'll see you at the show this weekend too. Alright, everybody hopefully liked Wes's tanks. Very nice clean builds I see. Okay, awesome. Well, I only say your age because you're the one that said you're old. So I think old is relative? Is that the right word? I don't know. I've got, man, talking about old and age and stuff. I'll tell you, one of my really good customers, and he's become a really good friend. He is 94 years old, and every time he calls me, which is pretty often, he sounds like he's not a day over 60, and he still works. he runs an import furniture business. And I'm like, oh, man, I really hope that when I'm 94, I am as in good of health and shape as you. I mean, he's importing furniture and distributing it, and he's still building models, driving around, doing great. So, uh, you know, age is nothing more than means you've had more time to build more models. And Wes has definitely built some good models. So let's move on to his aircraft, because that was just one folder from Wes. That was just his AFVs. So, in just a second. All right, here we go. Starting off with a A6M2 Tamiya's kit. That's cool. Another Tamiya kit there. There we go. B-25. And okay, and he says in the notes here that these are all 1/48 scale unless otherwise noted. So. Cool bow fighter there. SPF 109. Okay, so this is otherwise noted. This is 1/44 scale. So that's cool. C123 provider. Tamiya's F4F. There's his F4U. That's cool. Nice Mustang. That is that's a pretty cool paint scheme. I don't know if I've seen that one. That's interesting how all those markings are done. Nice flag on the tail. Two different paintings on the nose. That's cool. Hellcat. F51, that's cool. She's got so many planes and they all just look really nice, Wes. Good job. W190 cockpit. Nice job on that. That's an old Glencoe kit, he says. That's cool. That old duck. I'm seeing a pattern here, Wes. I think you are a fan of German aircraft. Fan of a little bit of everything, but there's another one. It looks good. JU-87, isn't it? Yeah. That's cool. I love those noses like that. Special hobby kit. They make some nice, nice subjects that you don't normally see, or at least they're the markings that they include in them. So there's a 262. Cockpit for it. A P-38. Oh, it's pistol packing mama. I know that plane. Cool. P-40. P-47. Monogram kit. Old Accurate Miniatures kit, that's cool. And there we go with the picture of the source material or reference material, so that's cool. I always like seeing that. Very neat. And there it is again. Fancy Nancy. Got the Jeep over there. Uh-oh. Click the button too fast. There we go, going to the PBY. Alright, couple more planes here. RC-135. Now, he said 48 scale unless otherwise noted, and this is not otherwise noted, so that's a big kit. Okay, Dauntless, Spitfire, and another one. There's your rocket. Well, cool. Alright, so there's his aircraft that were all 48 scale. And let's see, he's got this other folder in his aircraft that we can scroll through just real quick. There's no notes on this, it just says miscellaneous aircraft. So I'll just take a quick look through here. He's got just a few other planes that he's built. Okay, so some of these are just more pictures of the same ones, I think. But that's cool, no problem. Alright, so let's look at his, one of my machines back here is making some weird noises. Alright, alright, let's move on to, now I'll show it again. I showed this one a couple of weeks ago, but he's only got one submission in his Sci-fi folder, and this is the Space Arc from When Worlds Collide. So we'll take a look at that real quick. That's that Mobius kit is who made that, so that's neat. And then he's got these, he calls this folder the Everything Else folder. So he's got some kind of cool stuff in here. Let's see. Here we go. Alright, so these are some like Gatling guns and that sort of thing. And these are labeled as model shipways. So model shipways despite the name, made some other interesting wood models besides ships. And Wes has done a good job on those. That's what all these are so far anyway. They all say model shipways. This is not model shipways. This would be Tamiya. So Tamiya's got some really cool little combo kits like that, where it comes with a plane and a car, or like P-51 and a Jeep, for example. So that sort of thing. All right. So his miscellaneous folder must be just everything else that didn't fit in another folder, because you got still got some vehicles in here. You got some flak and German guys, some figures, some motorcycles. Cool. So that wraps up his all others folder. So now here is his ships folder. Bear with me. I'm getting a little bit quicker on this sharing my screen thing. So here's one of his sailing ships that we saw in his display case or cabinet earlier. So those are pretty neat. I've not built any sailing ships. I don't know. I guess maybe they intimidate me a little bit, especially those great big wood ones. Those just, I don't know how I would do that. But Gato here. Oh, and these, by the way, he says these are all 1/350th scale unless noted. So 3/50th scale Gato sub here. Looks like a Yamato. Oh, and this one is otherwise noted. This is 1200 scale. I was looking at it, that didn't look like the 350 Tamiya kit, so it's a 1200 scale. So that's very, very small. Okay, cool. And this is the Ohio class sub, the Dragon kit. I hope they reissue that kit, the Dragon Ohio. They last issued it as a Florida kit. Hopefully it'll come back out. Alright, so this one is 72 scale. So he's got all sorts of scales in here. 72 scale S-boat from Reville. And this is the good old Mini Hobby Models, which is, I think, now owned by Trumpeter, and they have this kit out as a Hobby Boss kit. So if you've seen the Hobby Boss 350th scale Arizona, this is what you can expect from that. And Wes has done a great job on this. Yeah, Arizona, of course. And there is the Tamiya Fletcher kit. Nice camo paint there, Wes. Alright, this is another 1200 scale kit, the North Carolina. So another really small. Looks big in the picture, but 1200 scale. Really, really small. Ah, cool. The 225 Glencoe kit of the USS Oregon. That's neat. I don't know if I've seen one of those built up in a while. Huh. Nice job. This is the Trumpeter 1942 version of the San Francisco. They do two different, they offer two different versions of that kit. Nice job on that. And his last ship in here is the Type 7C U-boat AFV Club. So this is also 350th scale. So very cool. So that finishes up Wes's ships. And I think that finishes up Wes's pictures there. Yep, that's it. So there you go. That was Wes Miller and his very large collection of finished models, much larger than my collection of finished models. Uh, and what I'll have to do sometime is go back through his Excel list there and look at all of his models that he has in various stages of completion. I might rival him on that because I apparently don't have any problem starting a new kit. It's that it's the finishing part that sometimes gets me. So anyway, all right, so these snippers or nippers or sprue cutters or whatever. So last week, one of you, and I forget who it was, I'm sorry, you were asking me about the God Hand snippers, and they're very nice, but that style of nipper, it's several brands have them, and it's nothing. I would like to tell you that we at Squadron manufactured these from the ground up, but that's just not the case. There's these factories that make these, and different brands, God Hand being one of them, Squadron now being one of them, Ming's got them, everybody's got them. This is kind of the new thing. You hear sometimes these are referred to as Gundam snippers, and I think probably the reason that might be is because they kind of got popular in the Gundam, the Bandai Gundam kits in that market. But they're really all it is a single-sided snipper. So, and what I mean by that is, so this would be a regular style snipper where both sides are sharp and it cuts. The problem is, like most traditional nippers, when you use something like this and you cut, it pinches the sprue. And I know you can't really tell on this video, but it pinches the sprue. So what happens is, at least for me, when I use a regular style of nipper and I cut, I try not to go super flush on my part. I come back just a little bit and I cut it, and then I'm left with this little notch on my part, which I have to either, I'll use sanding sticks, sometimes I'll use an X-Acto blade to get it close, and then I'll sand it smooth, and that's all fine and dandy, but that's how these work, and that's what I used pretty much ever since I started building models, are the traditional style nippers. Now, what's different with these newer style, I guess they're newer to me, these newer style nippers is they're called single-sided, and basically what that means is just one side of them is sharp, the other side's not. So instead of having two sharp sides fighting for cutting the same thing and ending up pinching it right in the middle, the one side that's sharp is cutting and the other side is just there as a support, I guess, for it to push on. So what happens is you can get really, really close as you can, and it just cuts right through, and it leaves you with a very, very smooth part. In some cases, smooth enough that when you hit it with primer, you don't have to do anything. Worst case scenario, just a little bit of super fine sanding and you're good to go. It's going to be different depending on what the part you're cutting is. I still use traditional, as I'm calling them now, type of snippers, because sometimes if I wanted, like for example, if I wanted to just get this, let's see, I'll go through here and I'll just cut the big sprues just so I can have it one part in my hand and I can put the other part down, and I'll just use these regular snippers because I don't care about them. As far as dulling them, they're just meant to get the part off the sprue. And then I'll take my new single-sided snippers and I'll come in here and I'll really spend a little bit of, a little bit more time to make sure I get a nice, smooth, clean cut. And on a big kit like the Dora, that 35th scale Dora kit that apparently I'm never going to finish, Our 72 scale Hanabu UFO, that's really a big kit, so the sprues on it are really heavy. Some of the 16th scale tanks, any large kit that's got really big parts, the injection ports that are really big, I will use something like these old snippers just to cut those big things, because these new style, they're really good, but I mean at some point they're not going to be sharp forever. So instead of wasting them on these bigger parts, I keep these guys around to cut parts out, and then I use these just to go in and clean those up. So the God hand ones we were talking about last week, it's the same thing. You've seen these from different manufacturers. It's all the same thing. We will have our own version. This is going to be them. I've got two different versions here. The size of the cutters are the only difference. You can see one of them's a smaller size. So they just help to get into smaller spaces a little bit better. So these are the two we've narrowed down what we want. Chances are I might end up doing both of them because they're both really nice, and I can see how they would be useful for different scenarios. Smaller kits, the smaller one's going to be nicer. Smaller, more fragile pieces, more delicate cuts, that's going to be nicer. But it'll be neat. We'll get them done. They'll come with a cool little Squadron Eagle logo, laser engraved on them. I kind of like the red handles is probably what we'll go with because that matches our logo and everything we got going. And then, I don't know, we may do this too. You see these with a lot of people. It's a little leather pouch. So the manufacturer's trying to talk us into getting these. So you'll be able to have a little pouch so you can't stab yourself, right? So, but that'll be coming soon. We finally got these narrowed down. There's so many different versions of these things out there. But we found the ones we want, and we're going to get them made, put them in a Squadron package, and try to have the best price that we can. I've seen these things all over the place, from like $20 and $30 up to $50 and $60, and I don't want a $50 or $60 pair of nippers, so I hope that that's not what these are going to be. I'm kind of hoping for the $20 to $30 range. That seems to be a pretty reasonable price, I guess, which it sounds kind of crazy when you're talking about nippers, but after you use these, I bought a pair of Ming nippers. That was the first set that I got, and those things were like $60, and I thought, well, everybody's talking about them, so I bought them, and I love them, and I use them all the time. But now we're gonna make our own Squadron version, and hopefully bring that price a lot lower. So that's the news on sprue cutters. So now, one of the other things that has just come in recently, we got a massive restock of Edward. And when I say massive, I mean there was like over 3,000 different items and multiples of most of those items. But so if you've been waiting for us to get restock on Edward, I think that everything that they offered is finally in stock, or at least it was. I'm sure some of it's gone by now. But one of the things that they have just announced, and we've just started taking pre-orders on, is a really cool kit. This is not it. This is just another version. So they got these all their 48 scale P51s. And we just got these back in stock. This is the D5 model. So they're nice, but they've got a new Royal class kit, as they're calling it, coming out. And this is really neat. So check this out. Yeah, so this will be it. So the Edward Royal class, this is kind of like their top of the line model kits, I guess you could say. And this has been really well received so far with pre-orders. So if you've never tried one of their Royal class kits, make sure to get a pre-order put in on this. And if you have tried their Royal class kits, then you know how great they are. And this is a dual combo kit, so you're getting two Mustangs in the same box. And they also have a non-Royal class version of it as well. So there's kind of their preliminary images, they're calling it. I don't know. Maybe that's not what they're going with for the final box art, but that's kind of the thing that I'll mention this week is that Royal class kit. Make sure to get in on that because it's going to be cool. But like I said, we got all sorts of new. I don't even know what's new. We got so much Edward stuff in, and not just kits, but kits, photo etch. Their FM2 Wildcat that they're calling the Wilder Cat. Those are back in stock, which is cool because I thought they were gone for good, but apparently they made some more or had some more, so we got those. Just all sorts of Edward stuff. So check out the website and see what's back in stock. Talking about sci-fi kits, you know, Wes had the art kit there, but we talk about Pontos and KA models and some of these super detail sets for ship models. But there's, if you're into sci-fi kits, there's a company called Green Strawberry. And they do the same kind of thing like Pontos does for ship models, but they do it for sci-fi kits. So if you, like this is the Chariot kit that Doll and Hobby did, and the 35th scale. This is a super detail set, similar to like a Pontos type of thing. Now, Green Strawberry is the brand, and they've got, you can buy individual photo etch or this or that, but then what I would call the super deluxe everything included, like a Pontos set, they call it a fruit pack. You know, Green Strawberry, I guess they label all their stuff fruits and things. But so a fruit pack from Green Strawberry is like everything in the same box. But this is the kit for that Chariot. One of the coolest ones, if you're a Star Wars fan and you've seen the Mandalorian series, that Razor Crest that AMT did one and Revell did one. Both of them did one in 72 scale, I believe it was. Green Strawberry's got a fruit pack for that Razor Crest spaceship from the Mandalorian. It's crazy. It's got all sorts of stuff. It really reminds me of a Ponto set without a wood deck, of course, but photo etch, brass parts, 3D printed parts, all sorts of stuff. So if you do sci-fi kits, Mobius kits, AMT, the Doll and Hobby, all those kind of things, Revell, check out Green Strawberry because they've got a full line of photo etch and cool aftermarket stuff for all those type of things. So, and we carry all of them. They're on the website. I hope this one's on the website. They just came back in stock, so I might not have them on there yet, but if I don't, I will soon. Just all sorts of stuff, man. Like I said, that container with the big box from Tacom will finally be here in a couple of days. That's just been been a nightmare, but you know, whatever. Let me check this live chat over here because I have not looked at it in the last few minutes, so I apologize about that. Yeah, not the age, but the mileage. There you go, buddy. And Michael's got, yeah, you do. You've got plenty of time left. 70 plus. You got plenty of time. You know, I've got this other guy, and he told me one time, he said he was, I think he was like 85 or 86 or something, and he was just talking about he's going to be here till like he's 150. And I said, oh, well, that'll be great. I really hope so. And he said, well, I am, because you can't die until you build all your model kits. I had to laugh at that. So there you go. Get a big stash because you can't die until you build them all. And at the rate that I build models, I'll probably live to be 500 based on that theory. So. Oh man. Wes has more sci-fi kits, but they're just too big to display. Well, you'll have to get that camera out sometime and show us what else you got hiding in your room. Because if you've got more sci-fi kits, that means you got more of everything else. So we'll have to take a look sometime. Yeah, Michael, I hope to get those 350 Akagi's back from Hasagawa at some time. They're nice kits. And Michael got him a pair of the God Hand clippers. Have you tried them yet? Hey, Jason. So glass files, that is an interesting thing. And maybe it was you that told me about them several weeks ago here on this show. I had never heard of them until either you or whoever it was mentioned them to me. And I haven't got any yet, but I've got to try them. Because whoever it was that was telling me about them, it sounds very, very interesting. And I've never tried them. So I got to try that sometime. Wes, you know what? You got me. I guess it is. I guess this does count as another started kit. But this one's like, 0.005% done. But I don't know. Maybe I should cut the rest of the sprue tree off, and then we can maybe call it 1% done. Oh, man. What have I done? Started another kit. Hey, Mark, as far as the model number of these, I couldn't tell you. These are not branded at all yet. These are straight from the factory as just samples. So once we have them, we'll stamp a number on them and put our logo on them and put them in a package. Right now, the sample packaging is blank. I've got to send them my artwork, but this will have our branding all over it. But so I don't know. I'm sure several other people sell them on Amazon, but I would not be able to tell you who or what at this point. But all I know is that our branded version will be up there soon. Well, oh, there we go. TJ, the Airfix Gannett kits, those, according to Airfix importer, the container arrived to them today, and they are hoping to get ours in the mail or on the freight truck to us either tomorrow or Friday. So that being, if that happens, we should have ours middle of next week, along with. There's a few other new releases from Edward that are coming. The 72 scale B24 is not coming with this. It's on their next container. That'll be a couple of months probably at least. But the Gannett and I forget what else. There's 2 or 3 other kits that are coming along with the Gannett. So. And Tom, I do not know about that one off the top of my head. So if you want to shoot me an email tonight, I'll find out and let you know as soon as I can. But I just don't know about that one off the top of my head. All right. Cool. Well, guys, that's I guess that's about it. I really hope to see some of you Saturday at AtlantaCon. I will be coming with no models to enter the contest. Surprise, surprise. But I hope all of you make up my slack and bring some really good models. I'm looking forward to seeing them. Looking forward to seeing you. I will have, I don't have a clue what I'm bringing with me as far as what to sell. I'll probably bring a little of this and a little of that. I got 5 or 6 tables down there, I think. So, but mostly I'm just coming to hang out, say hello, see some models, and just, have a good time. So. Sell a few things while I'm at it. So make sure to come by and say hello. Really looking forward to that. And we've got a lot of stuff going on at the shop. Got a pretty big announcement that I hope is coming soon in the next couple of weeks. We're just trying to work out the details of something we got cooking up. So more on that to come. And again, April 3rd will be our next show and tell, which will be our first monthly show and tell. So make sure to send me some pictures and we'll take a look at all that. And until then, y'all take it easy. Give me a call or an email or whatever you need. I'll be happy to help you. And I'll see you again here next Wednesday. I really appreciate you being here, guys. Have a good evening.